I'd like to get some information out there for a lot of us, for a lot of the beginner growers and newer growers. So can you briefly explain what are some of the advantages of seeds versus clones?
Yeah, there are a bunch of advantages between seeds and clones. The advantage of seeds is they don't come with bugs or problems. When you get clones from your friends or from the dispensary, they've probably got spider mites or powdery mildew or thrips or some sort of problem that you're paying for. And we like to believe and trust all of our friends, but don't trust your friends when you get a clone. There's going to be some sort of problem. And then do you want to blame your friend for giving you mites, or do you want to blame yourself because you should have treated that properly? So when you get clones, there's problems, especially from dispensaries. When you grow from seed, a lot of us are growing to profit and make a little money off of our product. If you're growing from a clone, JR's got that clone, Keith has the clone, Dinesh has the clone. The only way you're going to set yourself apart from the market is by growing that clone to its best. But JR grows it to its best. Keith grows it to its best. Dinesh grows it to its best. So we've all got the same clone. We're all growing the same shit. Nothing sets you apart from the market. If you buy a pack of seeds, there's going to be phenotypical variation. You're going to find one in there that is a fucking gem. It works beautifully for your grow, for your medical or recreational needs. Then you can set yourself apart from the market because you're not all growing that same damn clone that the whole neighborhood's got. Everyone's got Blue Dream. Get yourself a strawberry starburst pack and find that gem in there, set yourself apart. So the main thing is no bugs. You don't get those problems. Also, with seed, you get to do a pheno hunt. Like I said, there's variation. When you buy a pack of seeds, I don't expect them all to be exactly the same. You're going to get one that looks like the mom parent, one that looks like the dad. You're going to get 50-50 blends and some outliers. Keith may want the one that grows really tall and skinny. JR may want the one that's short and squatty. They're both orangegasm, or whatever strain I said, strawberry starburst, but there's going to be variation. So you can find that one that works beautifully for your grow, your smoke, your medicinal needs, your profit margin, whatever you need. I think from growing from seed, you have more option. You're not just handed some shit and said, there you go, that's what you have to work with. You get a lot of opportunities and options. So that's the major advantages, I think, from growing from seed. You can set yourself apart. You can find basically custom genetics for yourself. You can find the one, instead of just growing what's handed to you, you get to customize that shit. Then growing from clone, there are advantages. I'm not a clone hater. I keep clones because once I find a gem, I need a clone. Clones are great because they're tested. Hopefully they've been verified. Whoever passed that to you knows it's a female, knows its quality, knows it's not problematic. They can tell you hints about it. I can hand you a clone of something and say, I've grown this 20 times. It takes 9 weeks. It likes this much nutrients. Be careful because at week 7, this weird shit's going to happen. And know that keep it cool at the end. I can give you advice. So that's a good thing with a clone. We know it's tried and true and tested, and we can run it over and over with repeatable results. So I'm not a clone hater. They're in a commercial environment. We run the shit out clone, clone, clone. I can't run seeds in a commercial environment because I need to know what's a female and what's reliable and what pays the bills. So those are the pros and cons of both. Clones come with bugs, but they're reliable. Seeds, you have to pheno hunt them and find the one for you, but you get to find the one for you.
Excellent, excellent. And so now for a beginner who's getting out there and trying to buy seeds for the first time and say they're in a tent, what kind of genetic selections are they looking for in that small tent or a 4x4 tent environment?
Probably something that doesn't get too tall is the main thing to look for. I advertise that a lot of my stuff gets really tall because it does. Unfortunately, some of the breeders aren't as honest and forthcoming with their descriptions. They put words on the pack that will sell seeds. Look for reputable, honest breeders is your first thing, but then read that description, research it, look for other people that have grown it. A reliable breeder will have people posting his stuff for her stuff for him. Can't leave out the lady breeders, kick-ass lady breeders out there. They'll have people posting their stuff. I don't even have to post pictures of my stuff anymore because you guys are doing it for me, and that shows that it's a reliable product. So look at what other people are getting from those seeds. Is that breeder reliable? Is his description, her description reliable? Then look for plants that are going to be shorter, squatty, or not super tall. And if you do grow something, if you want something that does get tall, just flip it earlier. Flower really early. Get it to about a foot tall, then flower. See what it does. But do the research on strains that you want for medicinal or recreational value. Are you looking for something to make you panicky, to make you lay down? Look for that in the description. Then look for something that doesn't take super long to flower. The longer flowering time, the bigger, taller plants you're going to get, obviously. So something around 8 weeks, kind of indica dominant, is a really good thing to start with. If you want a real good suggestion from my lineup, Orangegasm is the one to start with if you're brand new. It's really easy to grow, real easy to manage, doesn't get too tall, and you'll have a successful harvest. So something not too tall that doesn't take too long, something that a lot of people grow, something that you see people not having problems with. I've got strains that I say I don't recommend this for beginners and strains that I do say I recommend for beginners. So hopefully your breeders are giving you that advice on the websites that you're looking at. Also look at a reputable website. There are so many seed sellers out there right now. Look for someone that's been around, somebody you've heard of, somebody that doesn't have to ship overseas to you. That's much easier.
And so, talking about different varieties, what are some of the advantages to growing one variety versus having a multitude of varieties in your environment?
For a new grower, I really recommend the one variety. It's like having, and this may be totally crass, but it's like having multiple girlfriends. How do you keep multiple girlfriends happy? And they're all in one room. So they're all getting fed the same thing. They're all getting the same light. I know 5 people, there are 6 people in this chat, 7 people, and we all don't want to drink the same thing right now. So trying to keep 6 of us happy by serving one thing is really going to be a struggle. So I think one cultivar for a new grower is much easier. You can dial in that one. You can get a relationship with it. If you're growing 6 different plants and you're feeding one mix, that one over there may want more CalMag. That one may need more nitrogen, but you can't do that because you're feeding them all the same thing. They're all in the same room. One may want a cooler room. One may want a hotter room, but you're running it at that one ideal temp for everything. So I think it's more advantageous to run one crop until you learn the plants a little bit more. Once you learn them, then you can kind of select plants that work together in the room. But I really think it's helpful to run one strain. Then you can get the temperature right for that one plant. You can get the feed dialed in for that one plant instead of trying to guess, like, do I add more nitrogen to my feed mix because that plant's doing that and that plant's not doing it. So it's just much easier. It's like having, like I said, it's like having multiple girlfriends. You can't get your girlfriend to decide which restaurant she wants to go to. How do you get 6 of them to pick a restaurant?
Yeah, I see that totally. Excellent. And so now, can you go ahead and explain to the people, because when we see packs, often there's terminology on the pack that'll say F1, F2. Can you talk about the F1, the F2, the BX, and the RBX?
Yeah, this is some of my favorite part to talk about. So when we make a new cross, you take a parent that is an A, I'll call it P1 is a parent 1. You got a male and a female that have never been crossed before. They're vastly different. When you breed those together, you have now made an F1. That is, F stands for filial generation, and 1 is the first generation. So we've obviously made an F1. You got a brand new cross, a new hybrid there. We'll just say we took Golden Goat and Daybreaker and made a Rise. If I take those Arise seeds and I grow them out and find a male and a female and cross those, I am moving the generations forward. So now I have made an F2 generation. Those seeds came from the same batch. If I take the seeds that come from that batch and find a male and a female and breed those, now I'm making F3. Every time I do that, if I use seeds from the same batch and use a male and a female, I'm moving the filial generation forward, and that's an F1 and then an F2 and so forth. If I take one of those seeds and go backwards to another parent, that'll be a back cross. So I'll go kind of deep on the back cross. I made a Golden Goat back cross because people didn't want Golden Goat fem seeds. There's not a Golden Goat male available to breed with. That was never released. Golden Goat's what's called a clone only. So I've got the girl. People want Golden Goat regular seeds, but I don't have a male, so I can't do that really. So I took another male plant and pollinated the girl Golden Goat. Now I've made a cross. I found a male in that cross that looks exactly like the girl Golden Goat. I went so far as to pull off a leaf and hold it up to the other leaf and make sure they match. The serrations are the same. This male plant looks just like a Golden Goat plant. I pollinated that female Golden Goat. Now that's not pure Golden Goat because there's the Daybreaker male that I used to make the original seeds is in there. But since I went back to that Golden Goat, I'm now back crossing it to the original parent. And then I'll get seeds out of that and find a male that looks like the Golden Goat again and back cross that to the original parent again. And that's a BX2. The first time I did it is BX1. Second time is BX2. My goal now is to eliminate those male genetics that I added to there because I used a different plant to adulterate those genetics. Now I need to wash that out by back crossing multiple times. The first time I do the back cross, I should, if I did my selection correctly, I should get between 75 and 82% phenotypes that look a lot like that original Golden Goat. Then when I do it again, I'll narrow that number down and I can get close to about 90% phenotypes that are going to look just like the original Golden Goat by doing back crossing. So I'm taking a male plant, cross it to the Golden Goat, make seeds, find a male out of those seeds, put it back to the original Golden Goat, and then find another male that looks just like the original Golden Goat. Every time I do this, I'm taking out that other ingredient. I'm washing out that Daybreaker male. So that's a back cross. And the idea there is to just get it as solid to the golden goat as possible. A really random note, a way I made it easy for myself, when I did the back cross, I chose a male that is very, very different than that female golden goat. That made it obvious when it came to pheno selection. Now, when I'm running those seeds, anything with the big wide leaf, I know that's not the golden goat phenotype I'm looking for. I can remove that right away. Anything short and squat, cushy looking, I can get rid of it. That's not golden goat genetics. I wanted the tall one with the long, skinny, fingery leaves. I made it really obvious. I was kind of like mixing red and blue Legos in a jar. And it was like, well, get the blue Legos out of there. I could really tell which ones were blue because I had such contrast. It made it easy for me. So that's a BX if you back cross to a parent. Yeah, I think that covers that. I could ramble more, but I don't want to lose myself or you guys because sometimes too much info is too much info. Oh, you're muted, brother.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important, especially for people who are out there just learning and trying to figure out, what does the seed pack mean when I buy it?
Yeah, there's a lot of codes on there.
Yeah, well, a lot of times they'll hear the name, like say, like you said, golden goat. They'll say, oh, this is a golden goat, but then they don't realize what really had to go into it to get that reg seed of this golden goat. So I think it's really cool that you kind of explained that and broke it down. Because I think there's a lot of misinformation or lack of education when it comes to buying seeds and knowing exactly what you're getting.
Absolutely.
So while we're on that subject of breeding, a lot of times when the first femming started coming out, people were, throwing out concerns about instabilities in fem seeds. So with a fem line, what should someone look for to ensure that they're getting a good, stable fem line?
And we should also talk about what is a feminized seed. What does that even mean?
Okay. I can cover that. Feminized seeds means that the offspring that come from those seeds will be all female. There is genetics at play here. There's nature and science being combined. So I'm going to say 99% of those seeds will be female because you do get anomalies. I can't do 100% guarantee, but 99% of my feminized seeds will be females. I do that by reversing a female plant. I turn it into a pollen donor. I don't turn it into a male. I turn it into a pollen donor. It makes pollen that only contains female chromosomes. I put that female pollen onto a female plant. Now there's only female chromosomes in there, no opportunity for male. So that's feminized seeds in a really short explanation there. For stabilization, I think that it's all about a reliable breeder. Fem seeds have to be made from reliable female plants. If your genetics have any sort of problems, any hermaphroditic traits in there, you're going to pass that along in your fem seeds, and that'll come along. It'll show up in your cross eventually. So for stability, it's all about just knowing the breeder, again, knowing that breeder's been around for a while. And we have a lot of fear of fem seeds because the old Dutch companies weren't doing it correctly. I think somebody had a herm plant. They just hermed and ruined a garden, and instead of taking a loss, they made a seed company. And so that's what gave the fem seeds a lot of really bad reputation, I think. People weren't making fem seeds. They were making accidents and selling them as feminized seeds. So that scared us. Now we know how to do it. My genetics are really very well tested. I get most of my genetics from commercial facilities or other breeders, and we test the shit out of our stuff. So it's all about knowing where the genetics come from. I keep saying research your breeder. That's really important. Research the breeder that you're buying seeds from. If they just popped up, give them a chance. But if they've been around for a long time, they've got reviews, and read those reviews. See what people think of that breeder. If they show their face and they come talk online, I'm not trying to hype myself up, but those are the breeders to look for. The guys that are hiding that you can't find, I wonder why they're hiding and why I can't find them.
Excellent, excellent. So does anyone on the panel have any questions here for Jeff regarding genetics?
Yeah, I mean, I know you talked pretty extensively about the back crossing, but I don't know if I missed it, but I'm still confused on what an RBX is.
Oh, RBX. That's so that gives me a whole new thing to ramble on. In fem seeds, that's a feminized BX. R stands for a reversal. So if I take the golden goat plant and treat it with the solution, and now it becomes a pollen donor, if I put that pollen on any other plant, that's a reversal. So if I put the golden goat plant on lemon skunk, that's an R1, that's a reversal, that makes lemon Jeffrey. If I take that golden goat pollen and put it on golden goat, that is selfing the golden goat, and I've made S1s. So when you see S, that is self, that means there's no other genetics other than the plant that's in there. You got golden goat, 2 golden goat, selfed. It fucked itself. I know that's really crass, but you'll never forget. When I say R, that's a reversal. I've taken reversed pollen and put it on a female plant. So that just indicates that it's not selfed, that it's a feminized project that's been outbred instead of self-bred. So then I'm just taking a reversed project and BXing it on itself to again kind of go back to that parent plant to get more of that parent trait. So that's where the R comes in. That's a reversal.
Cool. Thanks for explaining.
I'm glad you asked that.